and so it
Yes.
meant that that was
It
because it was a
had to be-
three.
It was the same day.
Yes, I
same
think the
day the
first
lecture
day,
was
the
slated
first
for.
day of the lecture was when the incident happened, and I recall because I had conversations with somebody. I had conversations with Enyunam actually. Enyunam Hadigan. I was like, I think we should be at that lecture for all 3 days if we could just make time and go on one of the
I mean,
days
no
and listen.
student of the law or practitioner of the law should miss that lecture. The man himself, his life, his work has been dedicated to building the systems that we see today, the legal framework that we have. He is one person who has tested it all, contributed to making the law. And so, yes, he should be celebrated. There are people I have seen, there are people who are even saying that we should have monuments put up in his name and in his honor. And that's not a call that is far-fetched. If you consider the contribution to the practice and development of the law and the legal systems which we have today. And so, yes, for those of us who grew up following the courts, always excited to hear what case is happening, and would always want to hear first in the news the biggest story from the courts. You don't have to be a lawyer, but you would know the name Chachu Chikata. For those who are always interested or have always been interested in the development of the law, testing the law, understanding the letter and the spirit of the law, seeing when they say there shall be a council of state, what does it mean? These are the kinds of fights that the Colossus Chachu Chikata dedicated his life and practice to. And you would know he comes from a background of high respect. At the time, the youngest lawyer to be called, most celebrated for his brain at the time of his call, his opinion always respected and sought on matters of national interest. And so it is not surprising if you have been a keen watcher or follower of our judicial system, you wouldn't be surprised at how he's been hailed. Maybe one of the instances where you would see that from across the political divide, you have approval ratings for him going high. And so at least we consider he's one of the institutions that bridges the political gap that we see quite often, lines along which we are divided as a people when we are having discussions. And so he's to be celebrated. He's earned it. He's dedicated his life. And the excerpts that you played, you see the kind of cases that he was talking about, that the fight for the respect of human rights, the fight for the respect and the enforcement of the letter of the Constitution, the insistence that procedure must be followed. And one of the landmark cases in this country, the GNPC case, where he was convicted on causing financial loss to the state, is one of the cases that is still studied, in schools. When you are talking about procedure, what should happen and what should not happen with the prosecution of a case, and the respect for constitutional provisions such as the right to fair hearing, that an accused person has the right to defend himself and must be afforded an equal opportunity to defend himself. That you don't have a politically exposed person or a politician or a public officer to be safe, brought before the court on some charges, and you can see that there is a deliberate, calculated attempt by the state to put this person behind bars at all costs, by all means. And that is where you see that those are the cases that he stood up against, to the extent that in his own case, when he was granted pardon by President Kufuor, he turned down the pardon because he insisted that, look, there's a significant difference between a pardon and an acquittal. An acquittal will mean that the crime, you did not commit the crime. Legally, it means that there was never a crime. A pardon would mean that, well, you did it, but for 1, 2, 3 reasons, the state thinks that you shouldn't serve the sentence. We forgive you of the offense that you committed against the Republic. And he said no, he had to clear his name. And so that was the reason he turned down and went ahead to challenge his conviction. And so, yes, he's tested the law, and by doing that, he's contributed significantly to the development of the law and to our practice of the law, always ensuring or insisting that the right procedure must be followed, the right thing must be done. Again, he spoke about SAL, and SAL is one of the blots on our democratic practice in this dispensation. Indeed, I dare say since independence, that a whole group was denied their right to vote based on some administrative decision which led to I think a CI, I think there was a CI to that effect. That they could vote only presidential and not parliamentary. And this was another case that tested our laws. And we kept asking ourselves, could a person be denied of his right to vote by an administrator of the process?
3FM,
who gives
92.7.
the administrator of a process the authority to decide that A should vote, B should not vote, or A should vote for 1 and not vote for 2. So that SAL case is another case that would forever remain on us a dark mark in our democratic march.
It says they should be paid reparations.
They should be paid
reparations for
well, that's a conversation.
the conversation for another day.
Another day. But who decides who is denied a right? And you would recall your basic social studies, right? They say that the right to vote is a fundamental right, which will mean that it is a right that it is inalienable. Once you turn the voting age, you are part of the decision making of the society. And all you have to do is attain that universal, the voting age. They call it what? Universal suffrage.
Universal adult suffrage.
Adult suffrage. That is the only qualification you would need. But then we saw that this was hurt or offended. And so in our march, democratic march, in our practice of the law, our observance of the law, we have seen that there have been offenses of the law, breaches of the law, which would take individuals, courageous and brave individuals, to be able to stand up to the system and say, that you cannot do this to this person, that this is not right, that there is a certain procedure, a certain framework, a certain structure for the purposes of ensuring law and order, for the purposes of ensuring certainty of the law, for the purposes of ensuring that Mawina will be treated in a manner equal to the way Dong will be treated. And so he is an institution to be studied, especially for young lawyers like me, those of us who are growing up in the law. And there's a lot we have to learn from him.
Absolutely.
A whole lot.
Absolutely, a lot we have to learn from him. Quickly on, I'll come to you on the listen, but on the fuel taxes and what the cost which has been absorbed by government in terms of taxes, and Frederick is going to have GPRT. I was hoping we could get VIP as well, because they increase transport fares by 20%. Yes. If government is slashing 2 cedis of diesel, which I suspect their vehicles use diesel, I'll need someone to work the math for me. By what percentage, even just using the prevailing floor prices, by what prevailing circumstances, what that will mean is one of the many things. Satisfied with the slashes, because I mean you use petrol, you got just 36 pesos.
So to be selfish, I'm not satisfied.
No, let's look at the bigger picture. I mean, but it's
so yes, I'm glad you mentioned the bigger picture. That which is what it is apparent that is what the government was looking at, the bigger picture. That if we didn't have, and we had this discussion here yesterday, that the general concern was for the people who use commercial vehicles, operators of commercial transport, to benefit from a relief that should or would translate into the benefit of the mass, the commuting public. That if we have trotro drivers or operators buying fuel at a rate that is not killing their businesses, they are at peace, they are happy, and you and I who patronize them, we are also happy, we are at peace. They had threatened, if you recall, that they were going to we were going to see some hikes.
Yeah.
And there was some intervention. Ultimately, the president had to speak, impressed upon them to hold on and await the decision of his cabinet. Said he was convening an extraordinary cabinet meeting just to look at that, which was the first good step by the administration. Then we got the goodwill also of the operators minus VIP. The operators decided that, yes, we will hold off on the increments that we are threatening. Go and sit with your cabinet, take your decisions, come back to us, tell us what you have decided. Let us see how it will affect our operations. Then we can decide whether we are ignoring you and going ahead to hike the prices, or we will listen to you, which was also good on the part of the drivers. But not on the part of VIP, because we saw out of nowhere, VIP announced price hikes.
25%.
25%. Significant 25%. And everybody is wondering, we are still discussing, we are still saying, oh, let us hold off and see what can happen. How is government going to respond to this or intervene in this matter, which will inform our response? So that singular act by the VIP company was not in good faith. it was defiant of the goodwill that we had seen from GPRTU and other transport operators. And the question must be asked and insisted upon. Now there's a reduction which you are benefiting from. Are you going to revert back to your old
There's a question
price
that
list?
needs to be asked of them,
Yes.
in all sincerity.
Are you going to revert? And the sad part is that the prices are hikes, but the commuters are not even having the comfort that they want in the... Look, I got messages from people who were traveling to WA
3FM 92.
complaining terribly about the state of the bus and also about the load on the bus and how the bus nearly caught fire because it was simply overloaded.
Really?
How do you charge people? You, in the interest of your business, you exact more than your pound of flesh from the traveling public, promising them comfort, reliability, and that comfort and reliability is still sacrificed. So they have questions to answer. And those are questions that they have to answer to all of us. I kept asking myself, and you see, at a point, I stopped blaming them. If we had a reliable STC, the State Transport Corporation, if we had reliable buses moving from Accra to WA, and I keep using Accra to WA because those are the examples that I have. I'm sure if we were to activate the phone lines now, other people would call in. Today is Thursday. Somebody left here on Wednesday from STC. If you are a frequent user of STC, you would know that on their ticket they was usually write reporting time 4 p.m. No, 3 p.m. Departure is 4 p.m. On this occasion, the bus departed from the terminal at 8 p.m. instead of the 4 p.m. 4 good hours late. 4 good hours late. As of Thursday night, the bus was still on the way because there was a breakdown. And this is a common story we keep getting from commuters on that stretch, the Accra-Wa stretch, whether Accra, Tamale, Accra, Tachiman, Accra, Sola, whichever, on that stretch. Yes, we can admit that the road is bad. Yes, we can admit that the road adds a strain to the bus, the vehicles. But should that not make us put our strongest vehicles on that route?
No, we will spoil it. So we'll give you the one that is not strong.
So you give
No,
us...
no, I'm just telling you
give
that's
us...
the
No,
thing.
I'm not fighting. I'm agreeing with you.
Yeah.
And it is the point I am making. You will give us the rickety ones, the ones that break down every 5 minutes.
And then become a burden onto the
Somebody
commuters.
is traveling on a journey that should take 9 to 10 hours. It takes 24 hours or more. And we think that people will continue patronizing that service. No. They will run to the private operator who is squeezing every ounce of blood out of them. But they will stay there because the private operator is promising something that the state operator is not promising. So STC has to put its act together. It has to.
A worthy competition.
Be a worthy competition to VIP, to VVIP, to the other ones, the other operators, 2M, 2M Express,
OA Travel and Tour.
OA Travel and Tour. Be a worthy competitor as a state operator
So I'm hearing there's Vision and all of that who
who are all using that route.
yeah.
If STC, and growing up, STC was always the most reliable for all of us. People would queue waiting for OSA, then into STC. All the other trucks will be passing by. They are not, because they are waiting for the state operator, which was noted for its quality, its customer centeredness, its reliability, that you know that if you left something at an STC yard, you will
are
go
bound
around the whole country and come back and find it.
Pick up your item.
Can same still be said about STC today?
Question.
That the
I
STC
think-
buses
I think-
were
I think-
air conditioned.
I think you can, to an extent. You can. Well, I'm yet to get reports of persons saying,
I'm just asking.
yeah. I mean,
Just
they're
asking.
relevant questions.
For,
to be
from
asked.
the people who experience STC every day. I'm just asking. That today, STC will take 24 hours to travel from Accra to Wa. And in between Accra and Wa, they will experience 3 breakdowns. Who is watching? Who is addressing these concerns? So imagine the traffic that you are driving from STC to VIP. And when Nana Akomia was MD
3
of
FM
STC,
92.7.
they opened a terminal at Circle,
close to the
close to
yeah.
VIP.
To-
Because
so-
they said VIP was taking all their customers. Somebody is going to STC yard. He gets to Circle, and you know how aggressive the VIP boys are. Oh, Kumasi. They are loading. They are moving. Former roads minister will say, you can't catch up because they are moving fast. So, under Nana Akomia, they decided to bring the competition straight to the doorstep of the private operators. And that within that enclave, you have about 2 or 3. There's VIP is there. There's 2MX Express there. There's is your Vision 1 there? Yes, the same area. And just across is also Neoplan, where all these other 207s are also stationed. So the whole idea of bringing the competition to the doorstep of the private operator is being defeated by the experiences of the commuter. And you don't expect people to continue patronizing the state transport when their experience is terrible. If I'm traveling from here to Wa, and it takes me 24 hours to 27 hours, 2 breakdowns on the road, stress. If I'm going for a meeting, it means that I have missed that meeting, or an interview, I have missed that interview. It means that I cannot plan my time with you. So, STC has to put its act together
3 FM
so that it can provide
92.7.
a worthy competition to the private operators. Let's add Metromass to that conversation. Again, when Metromass started, President Kufuor,
Yes, President Kufuor.
it was running from Wa to Accra, Wa to Kumasi,
I used Metromass to Accra from Hu.
from Ho. Yes, they were running the intercity services. And the problem I had always had with Metromass, at least in the early days, now I don't know whether it's changed, there are seats. The Wa Accra route had, the seats were hard. And in fact, I have to talk about the seats on the STC bus as well. When you sit on their seat, it's like It's like a straight and.
You have experienced the thing proper, so
Oh no, I have lived it. So I'm speaking an experience. I didn't go to watch the bus. I have used STC before. I've used Metromas before. I have used VIP before. I have used OA before. Our students, we used to organize OA buses from Legon to Wa, from Legon to Kumasi, from Legon to Cape Coast. We did all these things. So it is not. It's not like I was told. I have lived it. So let us provide. New buses have come. Is that for Metro or for STC?
Metromas, 100 new buses.
Metromas. Make your seats comfortable.
Now I have to come from manufacturing because it's a bus that's been procured for use already. So the seats are comfortable.
You cannot tell the manufacturer your specs.
No, I'm saying the 100 are already in. So if you say make it comfortable, they are already in. So if they are not comfortable,
there's nothing we can do about it.
Maybe the subsequent ones can be made comfortable. Otherwise, you are on
in
your
fact,
own.
we want to see. So my senior counsel, Kale Caesar, is the MD of Metromas. His deputy, we have hosted him before here. And Kale Caesar has a track record of good works. This is the time for Leonard MD to change the face of Metromas. Put some good buses on the Wa Accra Road, Kumasi Accra Road, Tachiman Accra Road, Sola Accra Road. Put some good buses on that stretch. If it's about the road too, the road has been awarded on contracts. Put some good buses on that road and see whether people will not switch from the private operators to your side. STC, put strong buses on the Accra-Wa Road, Accra-Tamale Road. Put good buses on that stretch and see whether you will not take or redirect the traffic. If there's going to be a delay, I cannot be sitting at a bus terminal for 4 hours. And these are not isolated cases. These are things that keep happening often. I'm traveling. You ask me to report at 4 p.m. No, report at 3 p.m. 4 p.m. we take off. I report at 2 p.m. because I don't want to be late. And we finally take off at 8 p.m. So from 2 p.m. to 8 p.m., I am sitting at a bus terminal. A terminal that offers me no sport, no relaxation, no some hard benches that I'm sitting on, very uncomfortable, and I'm sitting there for 5 good hours. That is not. So this is an experience I am speaking to. STC, rethink your deployment of buses on the Accra-Wa Road, on the Accra-Tamale Road,
Right.
on the Accra, I don't know about who, but I know that the buses on the
STC has
Accra,
Toyota Hiace on the whole road.
The whole road.
Yeah, I've been there. I've been to Ho a number of times.
which are more comfortable.
Yeah, fully air conditioned.
But I know that the Cape Coast people don't have a problem. Not that I know. I guess the Cape Coast people don't have a problem. So the Accra Cape Coast route, I'm guessing that is fine because we don't hear much from that side often. The problem is Accra, Northern Ghana transport or transportation. Let's check that. Basic things, problems that we can take out, and it will amaze you how much impact it would have on traffic to STC and to Metromas.
Right. Still live here on the 3FM Sunrise. Let me say a happy birthday to Kingsley Seidu. Is colleague, works with Colgate Ghana, a very good brother. Today happens to be your birthday, Kinsley. Happy birthday to you. Today, I believe we'll get into other matters now for the lecture, because there has been quite the opinion. I don't know if Frederick was going to get us the GPR to you, but they haven't come through yet, and so maybe we'll switch lanes. VIP and then GPR to you. Calls thus far have not been successful, but we'll try and raise a GPR. I know they've been reacting to some of these matters already, but yesterday that ruling came through. I don't know if I should bring back Justice Abdullah. I know I'm not going to bring him back in terms of that interview or that interaction I had with him. But
or we can just play back.
Yes, but I'm just saying you have the objects of the OSP's Act passed in 2017. So when I was speaking, I mentioned 2018. 2017 was the first year of Parliament and Nana Addo in office, and so it's a bit. But for our viewers who are on Facebook as well as on YouTube, right, persons who are monitoring from those platforms, you see, this morning I was seeking to explain the entire debacle, if I can call it that, in terms of why there's even a conversation as to if the OSP can prosecute and all of that. Now, because the graphic has the specifics, and so I'll have to share that with listeners as well. And so Articles 88, and we have the Constitution before us. Sixtus is a lawyer,
3FM
and so he walks around with the Constitution in his pocket. Article 88(1) provides for the office of the Attorney General. And so there are ministries, right? But not all of them are mentioned specifically in the source document from which all other laws are expected to come from, or all other laws are expected to conform to. So the Attorney General's office, or department as we used to call it, is mentioned primarily in the Constitution, and Articles 88(1) provides for that. It says that there shall be an Attorney General of Ghana who shall be a Minister of State and the principal legal advisor to the government. He shall discharge duties of legal nature and may be referred or assigned to him by the President. Go to the 3 and other parts. That's where the entire meat is. The 3 is where the entire meat is. That the Attorney General shall, and for the lawyers, I think there have been previous cases in courts which have explained what shall means in when the framers of the Constitution use shall, what it means, right? So the Attorney General shall be responsible for the initiation and conduct of all prosecutions of criminal offenses. And the 4 says, all offenses prosecuted in the name of the Republic of Ghana shall be at the suit of the Attorney General or any other person authorized by him in accordance with law. These 2 provisions is what has become subject of debate and has ended up at the Supreme Court, that no adjunctive suit, which is currently pending. And I actually understand the court will be hearing that matter today. And so there will be conversations, a lot more in that regard. But all of it came to a head yesterday, to an extent, following that High Court ruling. And there's been disappointment across the spectrum for some lawyers as to the reasoning by the judge. You have your own opinions in relation to this matter, and so I'm just going to leave the floor for you for 5 minutes.
It's not possible.
5 minutes is not enough.
No. You see, at this point, I'm like Senior Counsel Martin Pebu. The passion on this matter is plenty.
Yeah.
You know, as a journalist, the OSP Act was one of the works that I followed keenly from its formative stages right into the passage of the law. I was part of a lot of the conversations, the stakeholder discussions, review of the drafts, and all of those things. The OSP law and the RTI law. These are two things that I am proud to always say that I also followed and was part of, not just following as a reporter, but was actively part of. And so the submissions or my view on this matter will not necessarily be about what is captured in terms of the letter of the OSP Act, or even situating it within the context of Article 88 of the Constitution. Let's take a step back. There were conversations about dealing with corruption in public life. And we all agreed at the time that to be able to fight corruption, we needed an independent institution, independent from political control, independent from all strings. Such an office would be able to prosecute political actors and politically exposed persons who offend the public purse or in the conduct of their work allow themselves to be corrupted in a manner that would hinder the progress or development of the nation. This was a general background from which the conversation started. Then we looked around and said, we could give the power to the Attorney General and tell the Attorney General that, look, if you catch former appointees, that's an example, who allowed themselves to be corrupted.
It's not an example, because in our part of the world, current appointees rarely, it's in fact one of the reasons why the entire conversation rarely get put before any courts to answer.
They never. That is only because...
You can't say never, because there have been instances
that
where
is only because we see the audit reports after they have left office.
But there are audit reports which are coming.
I said we see. The reports may come, but we may never see them until they leave office. A different administration takes over, completely different administration takes over. Then we all realize that, look, something untoward happened. Let us deal with it. But the concern was that an Attorney General who is appointed by the government of the day, an Attorney General who is a full politician, an Attorney General who is a full party member, an Attorney General who cannot be said to be independent of the executive of the day, cannot be trusted to prosecute certain offenses, particularly offenses that hinder on corruption and corruption-related activities.
Absolutely.
So we all agreed that for us to be taken seriously globally in our fight against corruption, for the world to see that indeed we are doing something on the fight against corruption, for we ourselves, for us, to be convinced that we are making progress and that the fight against corruption is actually happening, that we are actually holding corruption by the horns and we are fighting it. Let us set up an independent body. Independent in terms of financing, independent in terms of powers, prosecutorial powers, the decision to prosecute or not to prosecute, the decision to say that we are prosecuting Mawina, the decision to say that we don't want to prosecute Mawina, the decision to say that Mawina is a small fish, we are waiting for the big fish. All of those decisions, that's the prosecutorial powers. In order to ensure the independence, even the appointment of the special prosecutor should come with a level of independence. The board of the office of the special prosecutor should have institutional representation in a manner that cannot be controlled by any executive of the day or by any judiciary of the day or judicial service of the day or by any attorney general of the day. So the picture was to have Mawina, SP, you are in your office, you have your budget, you are paid from the consolidated fund. That is to say that the president cannot decide to vary your conditions of service as a punishment, or some parliamentarian cannot move a motion in parliament to say that let us punish him. To say that, Mawina, we are giving you the power to deal with any politician or politically exposed person or private person playing public function. That's the other part we often forget. If you are a private person and you have been given public funding to execute a project or to do something,
92.7.
then you will fall under this. You will come within the jurisdiction of the OSP. So let us ensure and guarantee the independence in all of the ways that I have mentioned, plus more.
Right.
So that when you are prosecuting, if corruption charges are brought against the Attorney General, the current Attorney General, and the OSP, the SP, decides to initiate prosecution, the Attorney General will then become a subject of that prosecution, which is also the other reason why, even though it was admitted at the time in the deliberations that per the Constitution, only the Attorney General has prosecutorial powers. Let us ensure that some of these powers are ceded to the SP, so that the SP can prosecute everybody, including the Attorney General. If the Attorney General has the power to decide what cases the SP prosecutes, and there's a case involving the Attorney General, what do you think will happen?
He will not be prosecuted.
He will not be prosecuted. So the deliberations leading up to the establishment of the office of the special prosecutor, please, I am not speaking for Kisi Ejabeng or the office. Neither am I speaking for the Attorney General. Neither am I speaking against the judge. I am laying general conversations,
the foundations
upon which we have the office of the special prosecutor today. So it's not that we just wanted to set up some office, create jobs, and let people work, and we pay them, get bodyguards for SP, get a big office for SP, give him salary, and recruit investigators. No. Indeed, there was an admission of the conflict between the constitutional provision and then the statute which was to establish the office of the. And that has always been a running conversation. And anybody who has been part of this conversation knows that this has been a running conversation. Let me pause here for sports.
Absolutely. We'll return to this conversation because it's one of the big ticket items which we're looking at, and we'll get a bit more in terms of legal opinion as Sixers will share his as well. Important background he provides in all of this. And I will just ask this question so that when we return we'll brood over, right? That the Attorney General's office allows for police prosecutors in the lower courts carry out prosecutions and all of that. One time I asked a question, how do they check? And they say, oh, I mean, the dockets come through from time to time and all of that. Is that the sort of authorization in the wisdom of this judge? Is that the sort of authorization he spoke to when he says get authorization from
That is what it would appear
from the
from the Attorney General.
Or it will mean the Attorney General has to okay before he can initiate prosecution.
It's the same thing. So from this, and to be fair, I've not read the full decision.
We have all noticed. It's just the.
It would appear that
92.7.
when the SP, the OASP conducts an investigation, builds its docket, that docket would then be forwarded to the AG. AG will go through that docket and then okay it for that prosecution to then start. Because I've not read the decision, I cannot tell whether the okaying will mean that an officer from the department, the Attorney General's department, will be the one directly handling that prosecution, or the advice of the Attorney General will be given, then an officer from the OASP will take over the prosecution. I cannot tell. And I'm not even sure that is a nuance that the decision will provide.
We'll bring all those perspectives, and so we'll put that part as well on ice and bring all those perspectives. And good morning to you, Akosi. I trust that all is well.
Yeah, good morning. Everything is fine.
You're a Barca fan, I suppose.
I'm one of those people. I don't have the heart to support a football team.
Oh.
Every season, I choose a coach and support the coach.
So which coach are we supporting?
Diego Simeone.
Hey. Do you support Otuado?
But I support the Black Stars.
Otuado is gone.
No, but I support the Black Stars. I don't support teams. I don't support teams.
She said she doesn't support teams.
No, not at all.
She
But
supports
Black
coaches.
Stars,
I know.
Based
And
on
so the lawyer
performance
in
of
you
the coach.
decided to
Black
remember
Stars,
the things of old and come and ask about someone who is gone. I beg you. He is gone.
This is a harmless
He
question.
is gone.
Black Stars.
He is gone. So you want him to lift the Champions League this season?
I would wish Diego Simeone would be able to do that, but I mean it's also a very, very difficult task, especially knowing how he plays. I mean,
Arsenal next, right?
Yes.
For Simeone
Arsenal
and
next
his
for
team.
Simeone, and
Yesterday,
I don't see how.
Madrid was booted
listen,
out.
I thought everything was going well for Real Madrid. Then I'm like, what happened to this team? Because when it comes to the Champions League, we always have this thing we say that no matter how bad Madrid are playing, whether it's in the league, Copa del Rey, whatever,
they turn up for the Champions League.
Turn up the heat.
But it's
when
now
it's
2
Champions
seasons in a
League.
row. Quarterfinals is where they've exited.
Yeah,
and like you said, I think they had everything on lock and key.
they do.
Until
Maybe
that
the
red
only
card.
thing and even when it comes to coaching, they don't even. Bayern doesn't even have a better coach than them.
Oh, Arbeloa versus.
I'm just saying, like when you want.
Oh,
to
no,
put,
you
want to put experience and everything. This is what company who was coming from which team?
But company had been in the Belgian league. Was with
the national team. He came to Burnley.
No, so in the national team, and then he
Burnley.
coached one of the league teams. I can't
Burnley.
remember. Then from Belgium.
From Belgium.
Then
They
he came to Burnley, won the championship record points, if I'm not mistaken, and was in the Premier League. So he has a wealth of experience at least as compared to Arbeloa.
No, but if you accepted to be the manager for Real Madrid,
He's won the league before. Company has won the league before, so it's a league winning coach.
But
So I
winning the league as a
strongly
player,
disagree with you saying he's
listen,
on par with
No, I'm
Arbeloa.
just saying that when you look at the Bundesliga in terms of its
Competition,
competitiveness,
right.
yes, and then you want to compare it
92.7.
to the La Liga.
Alonso also won it. Alonso also won there. He won
No,
it.
but what I'm saying is, it was those once in a very long while beautiful story you get to tell.
You expect Bayern to win the league every season. And so you can argue, yes,
of course,
you can argue whether or not they have a coach. The expectation is that they will win the league. It's a fair point.
A former coach of theirs actually said it. When you coach a team like Bayern, they would always expect you to win the league, and if you don't, it's like, why didn't you?
The Bavarian.
Why couldn't you? Those are the things. So, I mean, I'm not saying Kompany is a bad coach. He's done well, very, very, very extremely.
And his choice in players have turned out very, very good for the team.
Yes, they have.
Luis Diaz.
I mean, to think he was going
Olise,
to be at Liverpool.
Yeah, so
the name of the coach is Kompany.
Yeah, Vincent Kompany.
So as in Don Company.
No, it's K. His company is spelled with a K. Okay, Akosia, time for us to get into sports. Akosia has all of the lowdown from the Champions League, and there's Europa and Conference League, which is where my darling Chelsea will be headed, considering all things being equal. But we'll have a conversation about that bogus team a lot later.
It's now time for sports on Sunrise. My name is Akosia AJ. There's a bit of good news. I mean, the human being they killed is not coming back, but those who committed that crime, some of them have been arrested, and we'll be talking about that very, very soon on the show. We'll also be talking about the GFA, because a lot of the time we hear about what are they doing with the FIFA Forward project. Well, yesterday something happened at the headquarters of the Ghana Football Association, and we will be looking at that very, very soon. Also, Champions League, and so if your team made it, I mean, I'm sure you'll be excited to listen to what your coaches and players have to say. If your team didn't make it to, I mean, better luck next time. But still, we will talk about everything that has happened throughout yesterday. But we're starting from here in Ghana, where the Ghana Police Service has arrested 2 suspects, including a gang leader, over the robbery that led to the death of Dominic Frimpong of Brecum Chelsea FC. The arrests followed an intelligence-led operation. One suspect was injured in a gun battle with the police and is receiving treatment under guard, while the other was captured separately. Authorities have not yet disclosed the identities of the suspects, but investigations are ongoing to establish the full circumstances surrounding the robbery and events that led to the footballer's death. Meanwhile, captain of Brecum Chelsea, Prince Annan, has called on the Ghana Football Association to introduce stricter travel safety measures for clubs following the deadly armed robbery attack on the team bus that led to the death of midfielder Dominic Frimpong. Speaking on Akuma FM, Anane appealed for reforms in how clubs travel for away matches, especially long-distance journeys after games.
Minha dia ka min tu crowd dia ko na min tu dia to se conference so ni kon dia se crowd dia ubi tu kona then ni more than 3 hours maybe over and sana jo yan ka onda adia chawa eden what was na fi shukura no mo ta de journey no say yin 3 hours for na even ka unya police ni no na me send dia wo kan mana unya police ke ni do ni a di eden odi woko ntiba nje bia tu bia o hawa o sisi menye nge me ge ni bisa na me kama so that means me to bia so tension wonye tabia
Well, you heard Prince Annan, who is the captain for Brecum Chelsea. They're now to the camp of the Ghana Football Association, where they've presented 5 vehicles to key operational units under the FIFA Forward program as part of efforts to strengthen football administration across the country. The latest allocation covers 2 regional football associations, the Technical Directorate, the GFA headquarters, and the Ghana Man Soccer Center of Excellence at Pram Pram. Kurt Okreku revealed that the vehicles are aimed at improving operational efficiency and supporting football development activities nationwide.
First of all, we are extremely grateful to FIFA, led by President Infantino, for their vision to support football via the Forward program. I think that when we speak about the Forward program, Ghana has been a big beneficiary, and we have utilized this program for the benefit of the Ghanaian game. Just about a year ago, we gave away 8 pickups to the leadership of our 8 regional offices with a firm promise that we were going to add up more. These vehicles obviously are used for the development and promotion of football at the grassroots level. I'm extremely happy, and I think that gradually we are laying a solid foundation for the development of the Ghanaian game. And I hope that every beneficiary, whether at the regional level, whether from the Technical Directorate, will put these vehicles to its fullest of users.
GFA President Kurt Okreku there. Let's now do some more where former Germany international Gerald Asamoah has urged the Black Stars to urgently improve their defensive organization under new coach Carlos Queiroz. Speaking in an interview with 3 Sport, he emphasized that the Black Stars' main strength is in attack, but warned that their defensive weaknesses remain a major concern that must be fixed quickly.
Look at our team, what we're having now. We have Partey, he's a good player, but he's have some issues. What I think is not giving him the confidence to do his game. Okay, against Germany, he was so good. And then let's ask ourselves, Kudus is out. So who are the players to carry this team? And that's the problem you need to ask yourself. And seeing the game in Austria, and I'll never underrate Austria, but it was like a dead team what not present us because we have. It doesn't matter how weak or not good where we are, but we need to present yourself as a nation, not to lose 5-1. I think so 5-1, yeah? 5-1. What are we good in? Are we good in defending or are we good in offensive game? And as I see, we are really good in offensive, so we need to work on our defensive plays. Keeping the 0 is always the best.
Gerald Asamoah there, who is a German international. To some other stories, and Ghanaian supporters planning to follow the Black Stars to the 2026 FIFA World Cup campaign in the United States will face significant transport costs, with a dedicated shuttle service to Gillette Stadium priced at about 1,000 cedis per seat for the group stage meeting with England. Ghana face England on June 23, 2026 in their second Group L fixture at the venue in Foxborough, Massachusetts, which will be branded Boston Stadium for the tournament. Organizers have introduced a structured transport system aimed at managing largely match day crowds, but the pricing has sparked attention among traveling fans. Boston's World Cup host committee has confirmed a bus service branded the Boston Stadium Express, which will charge $95 per passenger for a round-trip transfer to and from the stadium. The fare applies uniformly with no concessions for children, elderly supporters, or passengers with accessibility needs. Time to switch scenes to Europe, where it was an action-packed night as the semi-final lineup of the season's Champions League was completed. Arsenal and Sporting CP played out a goalless draw. but Kai Havertz's first leg strike proved decisive, sending Arsenal into back-to-back semi-finals. They will now face Spanish side Atletico Madrid in the last four. Arsenal manager Arteta praised his team's historic achievement.
Well, it hasn't been done in 140 years, so that tells you the difficulty of that, the gratitude to all the players, everybody at the club. We have to feel proud. It wasn't perfect. We still have a lot of things to do better, but we are where we want to be. We have earned it, we made it to be there, and I expected that we're going to go through, and they certainly did it, the boys. This league, the schedule that we have takes the hell out of you. And there's no coincidence why we are the only English club to be in the top four. So we need to recognize that as well. As I said before, it's been some difficult days. It's supposed to be like this. It has to be like this. You want to be where we are, you have to go through them. We certainly done it tonight, and we know what's coming on Sunday.
Or Mikel Arteta with the humble brag there. They are the only English side in the Final Four. The headline clash lived up to expectations, delivering a 7-goal thriller. FC Bayern Munich edged out Real Madrid home and away to secure their place. The game, which looked destined for extra time, took a dramatic turn when a late substitute, Edouard Camavinga, was sent off after a second avoidable yellow card. It finished 4-3 in Munich, with Bayern advancing to face reigning champions PSG in the semi-finals. Bayern manager Vincent Kompany praised his side's resilience after the game.
My main message was 0-0 is still a good result for us, so it was back to everything even. So I think despite the fact that they were leading 1-0, then we came back. They were leading 2-1, then we came back. They were leading 3-2, then we came back. They never actually leaded the tie. And so from a feeling, I still felt like, okay, it's back to even, and let's go and win the game, and we did it.
That was Bayern Munich manager, I beg your pardon, Vincent Kompany. Now to his opposite number, that's the Real Madrid manager, Alvaro Abelio. He admitted that the red card proved costly for his team.
Oh, I think that was a great match, this second leg. We put players like Militao, like Jude Bellingham, like Ferland Mendy, that they couldn't play in the first leg. We scored 3 goals and we had the chances to score some more goals. But I think with the red card, everything was over. It's really unbelievable that you send off a player for this action. I can't believe that, and it's not possible in a play like that, in a match like that you sent off for this. And we feel really upset, really angry, really disappointed, and I think all of this is a little bit unfair.
That was Real Madrid manager. And finally, before we wrap up, the countdown to football's biggest spectacle is well underway, with just 56 days to go until the 2026 FIFA World Cup kicks off. Between now and June, 3 Sports will keep you updated with daily feature stories and countdown coverage as anticipation builds for the tournament in North America. In today's edition, the focus turns to 5-time world champion Brazil's football national team.
The FIFA World Cup, where legends are made and records are written in history. At the top of the all-time scoring chart sits Miroslav Klose with 16 goals, the most in World Cup history. Behind him are icons like Brazil's Ronaldo with 15 and Germany's Gerd Müller with 14, goals that defined eras. Then come the modern greats. Lionel Messi has 13 World Cup goals across 5 tournaments, a testimony to his longevity and class. And Kylian Mbappe, already on 12 goals despite only 2 World Cups, is closing in fast with speed, power and consistency. In 2026, Messi and Mbappe will have the stage to rewrite the record books, to chase Klose's long-standing mark and etch their names at the top of World Cup lore. In football's greatest tournament, every goal counts and history awaits.
Well, that was our special edition of World Cup in a minute. So until now, from now till the World Cup, we'll be giving you covering different forms of content concerning the World Cup. My name is Akusia AJ. This has been the Sports Update on Sunrise. Thanks for listening.